In this hopefully short video, I want to go over some last minute reminders for your long essay question over the weekend, your LEQ. Spending particular time talking to you about how to structure a body paragraph in the LEQ. So hopefully I'll give you a few tips and give you an example of what a really solid body paragraph might look like. And I will use the topic from the last paper to do this. Let's take a look at the example that we have. So the last comparative essay that we looked at, or long essay question that we looked at, was a comparative essay, and that is the same for your essay this weekend. The prompt says to using specific examples, analyze similarities and differences in the spread of Islam during the period 600 to 1450 and the spread of Christianity during early periods. Now, if you develop a solid thesis statement, it might look something like this. Although the spread of Christianity from its inception until 600 CE and the spread of Islam from 610 to 1450 are different in their movement to predominantly different parts of Afro-Eurasia, both religions' diffusions were facilitated by existing trade routes and the empires that governed them. So let's take a look at this thesis statement. Just as a quick reminder, there are really four to five things the thesis statement must have. It must have chronology. You have to mention the years. Now, I've done it here in one big clunky sentence, but you could do this in multiple sentences. The key is your thesis statement has to be continuous. You can't break it up into two parts. So here I have chronology. The dates are listed. You see them in purple. The geography, Afro-Eurasia. The topic, dealing with the spread of Christianity and the spread of Islam. And then I answered the question. In this case, the comparative essay, we do so by giving a similarity and a difference, at least one of each, and that is the minimum. Here I've given one difference and two similarities. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump to a body paragraph that I had written actually before I went back and wrote the rest of this thesis statement, so forgive me. We will jump and take a look at what body paragraph 2 for this thesis statement needs to look like. Keep in mind that each paragraph should support your thesis statement. So if I'm doing my job, body paragraph 1 will be this difference, that they move to predominantly different parts of Afro-Eurasia. Body paragraph 2, or overall paragraph number 3, should be that these religions were diffused along existing trade routes. And my last body paragraph, or overall paragraph number 4, should be that empires facilitated this spread of religion. That paragraph would be more so about the role of the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire with Christianity and the Islamic caliphates with Islam. So let's jump into body paragraph number 2. So take a moment to look at this. One similarity between the spread of Christianity and the spread of Islam is that the spreads were both facilitated by existing trade routes. This, guys, is my topic sentence. That is the first thing that you need, is a topic sentence. It should be like a mini thesis statement. It should be part of your thesis. You are literally taking that, and now I'm going to write a paragraph proving that part of my thesis. Trade routes then we move on. After you state your subclaim, you need to explain or evaluate the reasons for that similarity or difference. So why did they both spread along trade routes? Trade routes during the classical period and post-classical periods connected people by giving them routine passage from place to place to exchange goods. But it also brought the opportunity for merchants and missionaries to spread ideas and cultures, including the religions of Christianity and Islam, which were founded and grew during this time. Here I am explaining or evaluating. I am telling why. I'm answering the question, why did this develop as a similarity? Why would religions spread along trade routes? But that's not enough. This is an essay, and you must provide evidence. And you must explain that evidence. So as we keep reading, for example, Christianity primarily spread from its point of origin in Judea through the Mediterranean Sea maritime system to places like Italy, Greece, and North Africa. Excuse me, I'm going to fix my errors here. Nestorian Christianity spread eastward on the Silk Roads into Central Asia, as it was declared heretical by the mainstream Christianity of the Mediterranean region. So adherents sought refuge in the other direction. So there I've provided evidence for the spread of Christianity along trade routes. Again, still not enough for all the points that you can earn in the essay. You must then utilize your evidence to substantiate your thesis. How or why did this happen? Analyze or explain. So I said this spread was possible because missionaries traveled through this region, spreading the gospel to people in major trading ports along the Mediterranean, such as Alexandria in Egypt, or in the case of Nestorian Christianity, to oasis towns along the Silk Road. So basically, I'm answering this question: how or why did this religion spread to all these places? And I give the answer. Then I move on. I give another example. In a similar way, the younger religion of Islam spread initially through caravan routes of the Arabian Peninsula and later by way of the Silk Road to Central Asia, the Trans-Saharan Network to Mali, and the Indian Ocean Maritime Network to South and Southeast Asia and East Africa. And once again, this rapid spread was greatly aided by an era of increasing trade in all of these networks, aided by new technologies, conquests, and empires. Here I've used the word aided twice, so I should probably think about changing that. But keep in mind, when you are writing this essay and you are handwriting it, you're going to move quickly, you are going to make mistakes, and those will not lose you points as long as the meaning stays the same. This is a draft after all. I chose to end this statement. I thought about a little bit more reasoning that I could include in this paragraph, and so I didn't want to rewrite the whole thing, so I just included at the end a little bit more explanation and evaluation. The vastness of these networks created a vehicle by which religions could spread, either by way of Christian missionaries, Muslim Sufis, or merchants of both religions. As trade networks expanded and intensified, so did the spread of Christian and Muslim ideas as they reached more people and gained more followers. So that's my body paragraph. I start with a topic sentence. I then explain and evaluate what I mean by that, in this case, similarity or difference. Then I provide evidence and I analyze and explain that evidence. If I provide more evidence, I analyze and explain that evidence as well. And you do this process repetitively. This is what you should do in every single body paragraph in the LEQ. Start to finish using this kind of thought process. Topic sentence, explain. Evidence, explain. Evidence, explain. Evidence, explain. And making sure it ties back to the thesis. If I did not convince you that both of these religions were facilitated by existing trade routes, then I can't do much more. But that paragraph certainly supports that statement in the thesis. And that is what your writing is meant to do. So that's it. I want to show you, a few keywords here. In my topic sentence, I definitely use language from the prompt. I try to use language from my thesis statement to make it mirror. When you introduce evidence, saying something like, for example, in dealing with similarities, if you say something like, in a similar way, these things highlight how things were similar. They were both facilitated. Again, a word that connotes similarity. So think about these little transitions that really clue the reader of your essay in to what is going to come. All right, back to some last minute reminders, guys. So a few things: write in pen, blue or black ink, no real other options. Make sure that you're writing in paragraphs and that you're indenting. I've had some questions about what to do on if you're watching this in 2016 over the November 18th weekend. You may be wondering this take-home essay if you are allowed to look things up. And as I told you, I am much more concerned with you writing a good, complete essay than I am with you, writing it within a certain 35-minute time limit. So set your timer, see where you are after 35 minutes, and you can take a little bit longer if need be, but probably not. Shouldn't be going over an hour. on this. Certainly not. But starting with our next essay, you will be timed in class, so you will need to kind of pick up the speed. We'll do some more practice on that. As far as outside help, I would encourage you to research information about this topic. Look at using your notes from class. However, while you are writing, I do not want you to use any outside resources. You shouldn't be quoting from any sources. It should all be coming from your head. So when you sit down to write, at that point, your books are all out. Don't use them. Don't use your notes or anything like that. That should be flowing from you. That's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. Your essay is due on Monday. All right, guys. You have a good day.